Hello friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks. Thank you so much for clicking on this video and for joining me as we make these beautiful cotton coasters. I made them with Bernat Handicrafter yarn in 100% cotton. You just need one ball of each color and you don't use you don't use the whole thing. You'll have quite a bit left actually. It's a fun project to make, doesn't use much cotton, and I used a 5mm crochet hook. And so once you get your supplies, let's get started. Okay, my friends, so let's begin. We're going to start by making this little piece right here, okay? So choosing your color of choice for your center, we're going to put a slip knot on our hook. Hope that heater in the background isn't making too much noise for you. And we're going to chain up 4. Okay, you don't want to make this too tight. You just want to loosely chain up 4. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to go into that first chain, the 4th chain from your hook, and we're going to slip stitch to join. Okay, now into that little circle right there is where we're going to make our double crochets. Okay, so don't put it in here. Remember that these 2 bars right here are that first chain that you had. Okay, so you're going to, even if you pinch it with your thumb and your finger so you know where you're going, but first we're going to chain up 3. 1, 2, 3. That will act as our first double crochet. Then into that ring we're going to do 2 more double crochets. So 1, and I'm going to carry this along with me so that it goes under the stitches as I make them, and 2. So that's 2 double crochets. So that chain 3 acts as 1 double crochet. Then we've got our 2nd and our 3rd. You're going to just pull up on that so you can take your hook out for 1 second, and we're going to place a stitch marker in the 3rd chain. Okay, so this was our beginning chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Or you can count back. So this is that 3rd double crochet, that's the 2nd, and this is the top of that 3rd chain. Place your stitch marker in there. Okay, then you're going to chain up 2, 1, 2, and you're going to do 3 double crochets into that ring. You can do a magic ring. If you're comfortable doing a magic ring, you go ahead and start your project with a magic ring instead of the chain 4, and that would be totally fine. Okay, so that's 3. Then you're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and you're going to do 3 double crochets again. 1, and 2, and 3. Okay, and you're going to chain up 2, 1, 2, 3 more double crochets. So this is your 4th cluster, so to speak, of 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Then you're going to, where your stitch marker is, first you're going to chain 2 to finish off that one. Then where that stitch marker is, you're going to go into there and you're going to slip stitch to join. Okay, so insert your hook into that top of that 3rd chain from your first set of chain 3s. Okay, and you're going to slip stitch to join. You can now remove your stitch marker, makes it a bit easier. You're going to chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet into that same space. Okay, then take your stitch marker, put it into the top of that single crochet that you just did, because you're going to want to know where that stitch is, and sometimes the single crochets are hard to find. Okay, so put your stitch marker in there, close it. I'm all thumbs here. Okay, then I'm going to go to the back here and I'm going to pull this tight. I worked it along with my stitches, so it's hidden in there pretty good. But before you move it, go any farther, put this onto your needle and hide it around in that circle, and then cut it off, and I'll see you back. All right, so this is what it's looking like. We've got our 3 double crochets, our chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, chain 2. We've slip stitched to the top of that chain 3. We've chained 1, and then we've single crocheted into that same space. Now what we're going to do is we're going to find that center double crochet. Okay, so that's this very next stitch. So we're in that top of the chain 3. We want to go into that very next stitch, and we're going to do 3 double crochets, because that's considered our center double crochet in this grouping. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3. Then you're going to just push it over just a little bit. You're going to chain 2, 1 and 2, and you're going to put 3 more double crochets into that top of that same stitch, okay? So 1, 2, let me loosen my yarn end here from the ball. There we go. And 3, going to finish that off. And it's going to look like that, okay? So you've got your 3 double crochets, your chain 2, your 3 double crochets. Then you're going to look at that chain space right there, and you're going to put a single crochet. 1 single crochet in that chain space. Then you're going to find your middle double crochet, that's this one here, and then right at the top there, that's the top of that stitch. So basically, if you push this over, this first stitch here is the top of this double crochet. That's usually hidden underneath there. And then this second one. But all you got to do is follow up that second double crochet, and off to the at the top and off to the right a little bit is where that will be the top of your stitch. So you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets in the top of that stitch, right? Like we did previously, okay? So that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets back into that same space. 1, 2, and 3. Oops. Then you're going to find your chain 2 space, which is easy to find. It's that little hole there, and you're going to single crochet. Okay? Then again, your next double crochet, you're going to go to the top of that. You're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Then into this chain 2 space, you're going to do 1 single crochet. Then you're going to go back to this, or over to this next second double crochet that's in that set of 3 there, and you're going to do 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And when you get to that part, I'll see you back. All right, so I finished my last grouping. So that's what it's looking like so far. 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and done again here and here. And now I've done 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. Now, this is why it's important to have your stitch marker in that single crochet, because that would have been hard to figure out, okay? And what we're gonna do there is we're going to join to the beginning single crochet with a slip stitch, okay? So now that you've got your eyeball on that one, take that out because it's just easier. Go into that stitch, yarn over, bring it through that loop, then bring it through the loop on your hook. And that's a slip stitch to join, okay? Then we're going to yarn over again, bring it through that loop, just cut off just enough so that you have enough to put on your needle and hide, okay? And we're going to fasten off just like that. And there you go. That's the first part done. We're going to do a color change now. But before we do that, go ahead and put your yarn end on your needle and hide it into your work, okay? I like to, this needs a little bit big, but it's the one I have handy here so I can do it. Anyways, but I like to hide my yarn ends as I do them. Then it's not so such a pain after when you have to go back and hide all these yarn ends. However, for this particular project, there's not a lot, so it's not really that big of a deal. But go ahead, hide your yarn ends. and then see me back, okay? All right, so we are going to take our next color that we're going to use. For me, it's white. We're going to put a slip knot on our hook. And we're going to join to any chain 2 space. But I'm going to join, this is where I finished off my last join. So I'm going to just go over to the left and go into that chain 2 space. So what I'm going to do is put my hook from the front to the back into that space, yarn over, bring that working yarn through that space and through the loop on my hook. And I've just joined my second color. I'm going to, let me just check I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to single crochet into that space, okay? Then you want to take your stitch marker and you want to place it in that single crochet. Oops, come on. Okay. Then I'm going to chain 1. And then into that next single crochet. So you're going to miss this double crochet, miss this one, miss this one. You're going to go to this single crochet. Now, another easy way to find it is in that chain 2 space that you had from the row before. That is your single crochet. There's only one single crochet that's in that space. You're going to follow that up, and then to the right of it is the top of that stitch right there. You'll see there's one single bar there. You're going to go into there. You're going to do 4 double crochets. Oops. You're going to do 4 double crochets. Three, and one more. Then you're going to do a chain 2. And you're going to do 4 more double crochets. Take that and just push it aside a little bit so you have more space there. Do 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, we've got our 4 double crochets. Then we're going to chain 1. Then we're going to go over to that next chain 2 space. We're going to single crochet and chain 1. Okay, then you're going to find that next single crochet that was in the chain 2 space from the row below. It's right there, and into that single crochet you're going to do 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets, all in that same space. Okay, so in that single crochet, 4 double crochets. Oh, my yarn end was caught. Chain 2 and 4 double crochets. Okay, so finish that and then I'll show you what we do next. All right, so I've got my 4 double crochets, my chain 2, and my 4 double crochets. Then I'm gonna chain 1, and I'm gonna go into that next space, do a single crochet, chain 1, then I'm gonna find that next single crochet that's right there. And again, look down in that space that was the row before, the chain 2 space, and you'll see it's the only stitch that's in that space that's over that bar there. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to do it again. 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets. Okay, so go ahead and finish that. All right, so we finished that. We're going to chain 1. We're going to do a single crochet into that the last space and a chain 1. Then into this knot here that was where we joined, we're going to do our 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets. So again, I'm going to do a single crochet, chain 1 in there. Then I'm going to go into this stitch here, which is a little bit hard to find, but just go, this was your slip stitch to join, and then your chain 1, so it's right actually beside it there. So go right into that little nook there. Okay, so you've got your double crochet here, your double crochet there, your double crochet there, then go into this one right there, and that's where you're going to do your 4 double crochets, chain 2, 4 double crochets, and then you'll see me back. All right, so there we have it, looking great. Now we're going to finish off. After our last 4 double crochets, we're going to chain 1 to close that off. Then where we have our stitch marker, we're going to go into that stitch and we're going to slip stitch to join. Might be easier to take it out. Just keep your eye on that stitch so you know which it is, or pinch it with your finger. Okay, and you're going to go into that stitch. You're going to bring up a yarn over, bring it into that stitch and then into the loop on your hook, and that's a slip stitch to join. Yarn over, go through that loop again, then cut off a little tail, pull it through, tighten it off, and you fastened that. Okay, now we're going to do another color change, but before we do our color change, we're going to go ahead and hide our tails. Okay, always easier to do the next row when you don't have all these tails hanging around. So go ahead, put your tails on your needle and hide them, and then I'll see you back. All right, so we've gone from this to this. Now we're going to do another color change. So grab your first color. We're going to put another slip knot onto our hook. Okay. And we're going to join into any stitch on the side, okay? But I am going to go into one of my first double crochets because from the cluster, because rather than go into here, I like to go to start on my first double crochet, because then it helps me to, I count 4 double crochets and when I'm doing my single crochet row, and I know that that I'm staying even. So I'll show you what I mean in a second, but we're going to put that little tail behind there because it's easier to keep it out of the way that way. And then I'm going to go into the top of that first double crochet. Choose any side, doesn't matter, but go into the first double crochet of that cluster. Then you're going to yarn over, pull it through that stitch, and then pull it through the loop on your hooks. Okay? It's a little tricky, but there you go. Okay? You're going to chain 1, and you're going to single crochet in that same stitch. Then you're going to take your stitch marker and you're going to mark that single crochet. Okay, because it is like, trust me, it's hard to find that single crochet sometimes. So if you've got your stitch marker in there, then you know that you're never gonna go awry. Okay, and we're going to put a single crochet in every stitch around. Okay, so that's why if I know I start on my first double crochet, I know I'm going to do 3 more before I get to my space there. Okay, so then I'm going to single crochet into the next one, into the next one. That's 3. And so that's 4. That takes care of all 4 of my double crochets, because sometimes it's a trick to know whether you go into this one, but you don't. That is one of the chain 2s. That's why I like to start on my double crochets, so I know I've done 4. Then I'm going to go into that space. I'm going to single crochet. I'm going to chain 2. And then I'm going to go right back into that space. And I'm going to single crochet. Now I know I've got these 4 double crochets that I need to put a single crochet in the top of, and sometimes we'll miss this one and we'll go to this one, and so that's why I know that if I follow that up, this is the stitch at the top of that double crochet, follow that one up, that's the stitch, that one. So I've got to pull this aside to find that little stitch right there, and I'm going to single crochet into there. Okay, so sometimes that's tricky, so that's why I like to start at the beginning of my 4 so that I have my count right. And then this is 2, this is 3, and 4, okay? So then this is my chain 1 space, and this is my chain 1 space, and that's my single crochet. So I'm going to go into that space, do a single crochet. I'm going to do a single crochet in that chain, I'm going to do a single crochet in that single crochet, and then I'm going to go a single crochet in the space that's on the other side of it. Then I'm back to my cluster of 4 double crochets. So I'm going to go into that first double crochet, make a single crochet, and then count 4 again. That's 2, 3, and 4. And then I know that I'm not going to go into here. I'm going to just go right into the center, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. This helps me to make sure I don't miss any of these double crochets, or I don't do too many. Okay, so now I'm back to my 4 double crochets. This is the 4th one, 3rd, 2nd. So I got to move this over a little bit so I can get into that first one. I'm going to do a single crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I've got all my double crochets taken care of. Now I've got my chain spaces and my single crochet. That's 3. So 1 in the chain space, single crochet space, pardon me, chain 1 space. Too many terms here. And then into the single crochet, and then into that chain space again. Now I'm back to my 4 double crochets. Okay, so I know that this belongs to that. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 right there. So 1, and that's how I'm going to go all the way around. And that way I'll know that I've got the same exact number of stitches on every side, and that I've counted it out right, okay? So you go ahead and you finish that and get around to the beginning, and then I'll meet you there, okay? All right, so when I've got my last 4 double crochets done, I still have to do in the space there, in the single crochet, and in that space. Okay, now I'm going to slip stitch to join in that first single crochet where my stitch marker is. So I'm going to just insert my hook, then I'm going to take this out. We don't need to put that back because, yes, we will put it back actually. I said this is our last row, but we'll still put it back, okay? And you're going to slip stitch to join. You're going to chain 1. You're going to single crochet in that same space. Go ahead, put your stitch marker back into your single crochet. Okay, and then we're going to do the exact same thing around. This is our last row. We're exact same, meaning we're going to single crochet in every stitch. So now that we've done that first one, we're just going to go into this next one, and this is an easy row because all the stitches are visible. Okay, so that one, and then this next one, that's 2, 3, 4, and then you're at your chain space, that little circle there. Okay, or that little space that we left, just a very tiny wee space. You're going to go in there and single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet back into that space. And then we want to make sure that we hit all of our single crochets there again. So now, because this is row 2, and we had our we added a single crochet because we've got our 4 double crochets ones here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But then we had our crochet that we put in that space. We did a single crochet, chain 2, single crochet. So we need to do a single crochet in 5 of them now, okay? So then you're going to spread this apart, and you can easily see that bar there. That is your first stitch, and it's the one that's the second stitch that's in that chain space that's on the row below. But just pull it apart like that, and you'll see that that bar goes down at a slant. That's your first one. So single crochet into there, 1, and now your 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 double crochets, but that was 5 stitches, okay? Now we are back into our 3 chains here our single crochets here that we did in our chain 1 space, our single crochet and our chain 1 in the row below. So that takes those 3, okay? Now we're coming back to our 4 double crochets that were with the row below. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then that first single crochet that we added into our chain below, that's 5. Okay, so we had 4 in the row below. Now we have 5 before we go into that space and do a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. So now essentially we did 4 before, now we have 5 because we had that single crochet that was in that row before. So let me just put this down. I think you're catching on, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to have to pull this over a little bit so you can get into that stitch, okay? And that is how we are going to do it all the way around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going into that stitch that was in our chain 1 space, then in the single crochet, in that chain 1 space. It's a single crochet the row below, but it was the one that was in that space, okay? And then now we have 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That takes us into our space. So we're going to do a single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. We know that this is for this double crochet, this single crochet is for that one, that one, that one, and then we have to remember this one that was in that chain 2 space. So we're going to push this over a little bit so we can see that stitch. And you see where that crossbar is? That's your first stitch, single crochet, and then keep going down the row until we get right around, and then I'll see you at the end. And by the way, we'll have 60 single crochets all around the perimeter of this on our last row, okay? I'm going to just enlarge this a little bit so you can see the end. When we get to the end, so this was in that first one, okay? And then these were our 4 double crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, it's single crochets, but they're attached to the double crochets. That's how I've shown you how to count them, okay? And so then, let's do that again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then this is the space. This is the chain, this is the single crochet, and then we need this one more in that space there, okay? So it looks kind of tight. This is our join, and this is our chain 1. So you're gonna need to go into that one, and if you aren't sure if you're at the end or not, just count around and you should have 60 single crochets, okay? So I'm gonna finish that off. Then where my stitch marker is, I'm going to slip stitch to join. Just like that. Yarn over, bring it through the loop. Cut it off as I've done in previous rows. Tighten that. Take it around to the back. Hide both of these yarn ends. And we are done. So go ahead and hide them and I'll see you right back. Okay, so wasn't that fun? So, you know, it's so easy. Well, it's not, well, you know what, I shouldn't say that. It's not necessarily easy. There's a bit of challenging work to it, but it's something that you can accomplish if you follow step by step. And if there's a problem with any rows, just, you know, rewind 10 seconds and look and watch it again, and you'll figure it out. I know you will. It's a beautiful, beautiful poster. Now, I also made them in a variegated denim kind of blue color. I'll show you that. And so it's just a little bit of a different look. Not sure that I like the variegated in the middle as much, because I think in some ways it kind of takes your eye away from the diamond shape that's there. But in its own right, it's beautiful too. So you have the option to make these in color combinations of your choice, of course, and they're absolutely, you know, a beautiful gift. Put that with a package of tea and a nice mug, wrap it up, and you've got a beautiful gift to give to somebody. And you know, you can make all 4 with less than 1 ball of the solid color, and just a little bit of the secondary color. So really cost effective to make and really beautiful. You can make them seasonal so that you got different colors for different seasons, and yeah, just a really beautiful idea. So there you go, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope that you go ahead and you make yourself some coasters and make them for gifts and make them for your craft sales, and just have fun doing it. Enjoy it. Yeah, if you watched this video and you made these and you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I really, really value you doing that. I appreciate it very much. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And please come over to my Facebook group, Koala Knits and Knacks. It's not just for circular knitters, or straight knitting needle knitters. It's also for crochet. So we've got mostly circular knitting projects in there, but I welcome any of your crochet projects. So please go ahead, make these in the color combinations of your choice, and come on over there and post it and show us what you've done. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Have a great day.